Your microphone?
Okay, she says we're recording. For those words.
Recording in progress.
There we go. Magic words. All right. So good evening. I'd like to welcome you and call to order the November 14th Port Orchard City Council meeting. And before we start, I would like to remind us of our guiding principles and the actions we're about to take this evening. Are we raising the bar? Are we honoring the past but not living in the past? Are we building connections with outside partners? Is the decision-making process positively impacting diversity, equity, and inclusion? Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, we have a published agenda this evening. Are there any proposed amendments to this evening's agenda? Not aware of any. Is there, would you like to make a motion to approve the agenda?
Mayor, I would like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Rosapepe, second by Councilmember Cacciardi to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
One opposed? Hearing none, the agenda has been set for this evening. We are to our first citizen comment period, which is for any items on this evening's agenda. We have a second citizen comment period for anything anyone wishes to discuss with the council or bring to the council's attention. So is there anyone wishing to address the council at this time for items on our agenda? Yes, sir, go ahead. Please step forward to the microphone and identify yourself for the record.
Hi, Dave Kimball from Manchester, although I'm a Port Orchard address. Hello, Mayor, Council. This might be a bit of a stretch, but on item K, number 4, 4K, the pedestrian pathway project, moving along with that and authorizing payment. I wonder, people that are using that pathway along the shoreline when they look up towards Aphrodisiac, do you think they'd be upset? Do you think maybe some curtains might be in order? And I'm wondering if the next board council members might have a different view than what this past council had. I mean, I think that it's not a good sight. It's not a good look from that pathway. Thanks.
Comments? Anyone else wishing to address for the council for items on the pathway? Or not on the pathway, on the agenda. All right. Hearing anyone online, Brandy? You see any hands raised? All right. We will close the first citizen comment period. We're to our consent items. Is there a motion to approve? Councilmember Diener.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Diener, second by Councilmember Terneri to approve the consent items as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Hearing none, the consent items have been approved. We have no presentations, no public hearing. We have 2 business items tonight. The first is item A, adoption of an ordinance amending Port Orchard Municipal Code, Title 19.14, Controlled Substances in response to the Senate Bill 5537. We have Curtis Chambers, filling in for Charlie this evening. So Curtis, take it away.
Thank you, Mayor. So this is a little back history here. A couple years ago, the Washington State Supreme Court ruled that the state possession and use of narcotics statute was unconstitutional because it didn't have an intent element. And so during this legislative session, the legislature passed what has been known as the Blake fix, because the law that made the prior law unconstitutional, or the case that made the prior law unconstitutional, was State v. Blake. So this is really just a housekeeping matter for the city to bring its possession and use of hard drugs in line with what is allowed to be enforced by the state. It makes knowingly using or knowingly possessing cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, harder drugs, a gross misdemeanor. And currently those are being charged by the county in district court under the county code. And so this just, like I said, housekeeping aligns your criminal code with what's allowed by the state so that they can be then charged in municipal court. I can take any further questions if you have any.
Diener?
We essentially don't have a choice in the matter, is kind of what I'm hearing.
Well, you cannot adopt it, and then under that scenario, you would not be able to charge for knowingly possessing or using the hard drugs in municipal court.
Okay, okay,
Our court would not be able to perform its
Right.
function without us taking action.
yep, got it.
Shardy?
Mayor, I move to adopt an ordinance repealing sections, chapter 9.14 of the Port Orchard Municipal Code and amending sections 9.14.010 regarding controlled substances.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Cachardi, second by Councilmember Lucarelli. Further discussions or questions on this matter? I think it's in essence to allow our court to be able to take these actions. Councilmember Diener?
I just want to make sure I understood everything that was mentioned in this. Can you give me an example of a counterfeit substance?
My understanding of a counterfeit substance is a substance that you are passing off as being an actual drug.
And it's not that drug?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Councilmember Trenary?
Yeah, Mr. Chambers, can we just assume that a legend drug is everything that's not as part of the hard drug details up here, or do the courts have a little more specific detail as to which drug fits in under which category?
So I am not an expert on what all of the legend drugs are by any means, but my understanding is they are more of the prescription drugs that you are not allowed to have.
And we have a pretty tight lane in this. This is,
Yeah,
the
this-
legislature passed a law,
Right.
and these matters were being heard in Superior Court previously. They've made them a gross misdemeanor now, which now Superior Court doesn't hear gross misdemeanors. So for us to be able to charge these cases for drug possession, we have to have an ordinance on our books for our court to be able to hear these cases.
Yeah, your ordinance will literally mirror what's allowed under the state. So the maximum authority that you have under the state law will be what is implemented and at the disposal of your prosecutor and police. And I believe the chief may have some additional information.
Yes, I just wanted to clarify a legend drug. A legend drug is approved for prescription by the United States FDA, but it is, if it's my prescription, you are not allowed to possess it.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments? All right, you'd be voting on adoption of an ordinance amending Port Orchard Municipal Code 19.14, controlled substances, in response to House Bill, or Senate Bill 5536. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. And I'm just looking to see who was absent. Councilmember
was.
Rosa Pepe. All right. So our next item is the approval of the October 17th, 2023 council work study meeting minutes. And is there a motion to approve? Councilmember Diener?
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to approve the work study session meeting minutes of October 17th, 2023.
Seconded.
Got a motion by Councilmember Diener, second by Councilmember Clausen. Any proposed edits or amendments to those minutes? Hearing none, everyone, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? And Councilmember Rosa Pepe abstains. All right, that finishes our business items. We do have an executive session at the end of the night, and I believe there's going to be action proposed. I would recommend that we go into that executive session now, and then come back and I'll allow you to potentially take action based on the information that you would get in that executive session. So I'm going to propose a 10-minute executive session, and then so we will adjourn for 10 minutes. And Curtis, could you cite the RCW as to why we're going into that executive session?
Absolutely, Your Honor. It's RCW 42.30.1101I for litigation.
We'll be back in 10 minutes.